Hello and welcome to the Deliberate Millionaires Flip the Switch Within to Rich free masterclass. Say that quickly. Hey, I'm Rosemary, Nonny. That's me right there. It's such a pleasure to have you here with me. Let's get straight into this. Who is this for? It is for action-oriented spiritual people who know that they're meant for more. You know it. You look successful to everyone else already. You have the life other people wish that they had, but you feel empty inside yourself. You feel trapped being all things to all people. And I'll explain what that means as we carry on. You're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving, but you're getting nothing back when you need it. Everybody looks to you for answers. They don't, but you don't feel like you have anyone that you can look to. You're in pain. If you're honest, you're in deep inner pain. You can't even find the words to explain how you feel sometimes. You just know that the way you're living right now, it isn't sustainable anymore. Something has got to change, and it has to change right now. You know that there's more for you. You know that you've done everything they said to do. Get the education, get the good job. You got the family, you got the partner, you look the part of success. Except, of course, you might be divorced or separated or something at the moment, or suffering through a relationship you don't much like. But nobody knows this stuff, or they can't really see behind the facade that you put on. But you know that you are not where you thought you would be by now. You feel resentful about all the people with all their noise, their nonsense, their drama, that they keep coming to you asking for support, but you don't say anything. You keep giving. You keep slapping a smile on your face, plodding your way through life, no matter what happens, because you are that powerful person who is very capable of making things happen. But right now, you feel this deep, deep, deep sadness, tiredness, unfulfillment, and you want change. But you're afraid of losing what you have created because you worked freaking hard to get here. I get it. I get it. I get it. You're afraid also of losing everyone and ending up alone because you have these big ideas that nobody else seems to completely understand. But the truth of the matter is that you feel alone even with all these people around you anyway. And there's a part of you that actually doubts your ability to bring those ideas to life. You have these big ideas of impact, of income, of, the difference you want to make on the planet, but you doubt yourself. And I'll explain why there soon. And there's a part of you also that wonders why you think that you can do better. You judge yourself as too proud, too full of yourself. Maybe somebody even told you that you're too much. And so as much as you want more, you're also holding on to less. And so you feel stuck. Does that sound familiar at all? Welcome, honey. This is for you. This is for you. Just imagine with me for a minute here that there's a switch within you. It can either be set to lack or it can be set to rich. Just imagine that. Lack would mean financial restriction. So yeah, you might be earning a good income. It's like me as a pharmacist. I earned a good income and still somehow I was going deeper and deeper into debt. There's lack of fulfillment. There's draining relationships. There's overwhelm. There's low-level sadness. Oh, that low-level sadness all the freaking time. You just feel this sadness, emotional pain. You hate the way you look, probably. There's blame. There's shame. There's guilt. There's this feeling trapped. Working hard, still not where you want to be. Lots of dreams, no follow through. You procrastinate. You feel like you're sold out just to make sure that you had the money coming in to pay bills. You've given up your own vision. You are the answer for everyone, but you are not the answer for yourself. That's the way it feels. That's the way it feels. It's not the truth, but it's the way it feels. Surrounded by draining relationships. That's all lack. If your switch is flicked over to lack, that's the kind of thing that you'll be experiencing. I'm not saying you're never happy, but I am saying that you're experiencing this kind of stuff as the majority of your life experience. Or you can choose to flick that switch over to rich, where you're experiencing a sense of freedom to do what you want when you want with whoever you want. Freedom. In fact, even as I say it out loud, there might be a part of you who is still stuck in lack, thinking, can anybody do that? Isn't that selfish? That kind of thinking is keeping you trapped. You're fulfilled. You're doing what you know you're here born to do. You're making the difference you want to make with the people you want to make it with. You're living your life's purpose, and you are doing it abundantly. You are financially abundant. You can see now that there is no limit to the amount of income that you can bring in, because money is just a thing that you can create if you want to. You handled the nonsense telling you that, oh, you're too proud or it's too much. Or that. No, none of that anymore. You're on the rich side now, and you have this love-drenched life and deep inner peace. That is flicking it over to the rich side, and that is possible for you. That is possible for you. You just have to come back home to yourself. It is a journey. It's a transition from this place of unfulfillment and lack to a place of joy. Away from struggle and sacrifice and suffering as if that's the only option. It's not. It may be all you've known. And I know that's, I recognize you've come through a lot. But there is a bigger, better, more expansive way to live life. And you know it. This is a return to your true design self, your true design life, the life you were actually supposed to be living, the one you crave, the one you're longing for. That's what you're searching for, because you know there's more for you. Let's carry on because we have a lot to cover here. There's a client story here. Fiona, my lovely client here, she was stuck in a corporate career that she didn't enjoy. She had so many people wanting her help, and she was always helping and giving and doing all that stuff that people do, basically, when they're nice, lovely people, giving. But in the dead of night, they feel drained, they feel empty, and that's how she felt. Always putting her own dreams on the shelf. She'd start stuff, she'd stop stuff, she'd start something, then she'd stop it. She'd go chasing after the next money-making idea, usually real estate. That's where people always seem to venture towards. Nothing wrong with it, except usually the people who are doing it, it's not actually your true design thing. You just think, and I did this too, you just think it's the way to make money. But then you give up because it's not your thing. And she did that too, start, stop all the time. We had to identify the true issues, and I'll be talking you through them in this masterclass, handle them, and transitioned into her own life coaching business, something that she'd been wanting to do but didn't think she could. And she got new clients, and she feels more fulfilled, more happy, more peaceful than she's ever felt before, and she's continuing to grow. We're going to go through the simple 5-step breakthrough blueprint for driven, action-oriented spiritual people. You're going to discover how to take the limits off your income and boldly create a fulfilled life of peace and plenty. And if there's anybody listening to me right here and you suddenly think, it's not just about the money, well, you're in the wrong place. I'll tell you that right now. I know that for the people that I'm working with, my clients, the ones I am called to, you recognize that if you're going to have the impact that you want, you need to create income. You're not afraid to admit it. Okay, maybe you don't say it out loud the way I'm saying it, but you know it. You know it. You're in the right place. Let's keep going. We have a lot to cover here. Please be very present. Be very present. The stuff that I'm going to talk to you about here, maybe nobody's told you in the way that I'm going to tell you. So be very present. Switch everything else off. Listen in. Be here now. I am Rosemary, Nonny. I'm a weird blend of African and English. I'm born in England, lived in Africa. I've experienced poverty, real, true poverty. I've experienced living the high life too. I used to dabble at business because I was that person too who knew I was meant for something more, but could never quite settle into anything because I kept chasing the money, thinking that if I could just get enough money, then I'll be able to do the things that I really want to do, do them at the weekends, do them in the evenings, and all of that kind of stuff that we tell ourselves, whilst at the same time trying to give and be everything to everybody else, and all of that nonsense. I did it all. So, everything I say here, I'm not coming from a place of judgment at all. I'm just wanting to get your attention. I want to get your attention because this is your one life. You get to choose how that life plays out. Do not waste any more time living the wrong life for you. I'd wasted too much time. Anyway, thankfully I'm here, and it's time for you to get here. But anyway, I do invest in property. I used to do it as a full-time business type thing and realized that was not my calling. Like everybody else, I did the whole, let me transition from being a pharmacist into being a property investor and all real estate, depending on what country you're in, And I did it, but then I hated it and imploded it. I still have property because it's more of an investment strategy as opposed to a full-time business thing. Okay. So I was a pharmacist. I transitioned out of that, could more than replace my income a few million times. Well, not a million times, but a few times. Used to just call myself a business coach, but I don't just do that. What I do with people, I'm the money minister. What I do with you is bring you back home to yourself and then help you create a heck of a lot of money whilst living in your true design, in your life's purpose. Okay, that's who I am. Yeah, you can find out more, read my blog and all of that at rosemarynonnynight.com or Facebook, Rosemary Nonny Night, or Instagram, whatever. You found me somewhere. So here you are. Ultimately, at one point, I was bankrupt. I was depressed. I had a 4-year depression where I really felt that, I called it the blank. Everything inside of me just seemed to die because I'd gone bankrupt. I felt like a failure. This was not the life that I was supposed to be living. But I'd gotten there by being what I would call a reverse people pleaser. Nobody could, if you speak to any of my relatives or friends, they would never say to you that, no, Rosemary always tries to please us and she's so, no, they would not say that. They would actually even say that she was selfish. She always did her own thing. But they did not know how much I desperately wanted their approval, how much I would contort myself to try to be what they wanted me to be, but I could never quite be it. And I'd give and give money and things that I couldn't afford, trying to be the nice person. It wasn't received well because I couldn't completely give up myself. So there were certain things that I had to say no to, but then I'd be consumed by guilt, consumed by, guilt, a lot of guilt and shame that I was not a good friend, and not a good mom, and not a good this, and not a good the other. And then I'd try and give money and in the stupid ways and saying yes when I should have said no. And it got me nowhere except bankrupt. And 4 years of depression. It was actually having my children, finally, having my children, still went into the wrong business. But then after that, I started to realize I have to start saying yes to me. I have to come back home to me. And I did. And now I teach other people exactly how to do that. This was me thinking, I love Disney princess stuff. She's singing, when will my life begin? That's how I felt. And that's how you may feel. I did win this Porsche Boxster for taking action, for finally getting myself off my butt. So this was even in the property business, even though it was the wrong business for me, I still made it a success. But the thing for me about winning this car and why I put it here is because it is that I realized, because I'd come through this 4-year depression, I had gone bankrupt, I had felt like a failure, I'd hit rock bottom for me. And I won this car at the end of 12 months, having invested in this mentor £10,000 that I did not freaking have. And I'd won this car, which more than replaced the money that I spent. I'd already replaced the money that I'd spent on the thing, because I had determined that whatever I was shown, I would go with it. I would do it regardless of how afraid I was. And I was very afraid that year. That first year, I was very afraid. Very afraid. But I won this car. And the thing it did for me, because the car was more important to my husband itself, but the car, it stood to me as a symbol, as a sign that, you know what, Rosemary, when you set your mind, truly commit and decide what you want, nothing can freaking stop you. And I will say the same to you. You know this because you're already powerful in certain areas of your life. Maybe you haven't gone through that feeling of complete failure that I did, because I knew who I was before I went bankrupt and failed and all of that. But then I got to that place of true feeling like a failure. I'd forgotten who I was. But when I signed up for this thing, I was at the bottom and I still signed up. I somehow managed to convince myself that something has to change in my life. I do not want my children going off to childcare all day, every day. And I'm telling my story to them. I don't want to spend that much time here, but I do want you to understand this. When you truly commit to finding yourself and making money, doing what you want to do, nothing can freaking stop you. You are that powerful person. You need to wake up. You're using your power in ways that kill you, that keep you down. And this masterclass will help you see what you're doing and show you a pathway out. Are you ready? There are two main reasons that your life is not where you want it to be. Number one, Because I've asked people, when people come into my community, I ask this question all the time. Why are you not living in your purpose? What is going on? They say self-doubt and they say money fears. Self-doubt and money fears. Now, these are powerful people. Just people I work with are powerful people. And yet they've doubted themselves. They're very powerful in their zone of comfort. But they want to live outside of their zone of comfort, just like you do. You're being called to something more. But you doubt that you can do it. And so you start, you stop, or you don't even start at all, or you bury it. I'll tell you some more. Anyway, let's carry on. I keep going off on tangents. Let's start with, where did your self-confidence go? Okay. There is this thing it's called the Mexican crab effect. This is where crabs for restaurants, they go and pick them out of the sea or whatever, put them in a bucket. And as they're in the bucket, now an individual crab could crawl up the side of that bucket and escape. But as soon as that individual crab is trying to do that, all the other crabs in the bucket will pull that crab back down and refuse to let it leave. That is what is happening in your life. You are surrounded by people who do not want you to move on. They do not do it consciously. It is an instinct. It's to keep the tribe together, to keep themselves safe. And so you are getting pulled down back to where you don't want to be. The world seems designed to keep you down. Family, religion, it's conditioning you to play freaking small. Friends, jobs, condition you to play small. Except it's so normal, you don't even notice that this is happening. Social media, if you spend time flicking through your Instagram or your TikTok or your whatever, and comparing yourself to other people, usually unfavorably, it's keeping you down. The news, frightening you with talks of all the dangers out there, everything out to get you. And you're believing the nonsense and it's keeping you down. Cultural beliefs passed down from generation to generation, causing you to deeply desire to just blend in and be part of the tribe, be accepted, even at the cost of your individuality. And hurtful stuff, of course, has happened. I know for a lot of us in this community, stuff happened. And you've told stories about what each of those events means, and those stories are not empowering to you. Maybe you think it's because of your skin color or your lack of qualifications, or whether it's because you're male or female or whatever it is that you think you are. It's the economy, or you're being introvert, or you're living in the wrong country, or something, or there's all kinds of stuff. What's it called? Lurking in the underground of your life. Under the surface that you bring out to the world is all these stories, ideas, plus all the input from all these external things, family, friends, religion, all of this coming at you. You start to feel like a victim of these things. Not that you say that you're a victim, never would you say that. But you do feel as though these things keep you from your good. You don't even always identify it. Actually, that's the thing. Sometimes you're so used to living this way, you don't realize it's happening, but you're numbing yourself out in order to, convince yourself to stay in this average life, telling yourself you have no choice. Feeling like you have no choice. You may not say it out loud, which is why sometimes you try things and then you quit things. And if you do manage to keep your dreams and your visions alive, there's always someone to tell you why it's impossible for you to do what you want to do. Of course, you forget that this very same someone has absolute confidence that you can do what they want you to do, but never what you want to do, of course. Your inner talk also then confirms the nonsense that you're listening to from other people. The events of your life, as I said, can be interpreted to mean that you can't do or be what you want. Of course, there's more than one interpretation, but you have chosen the most disempowering one. And so you stay stuck in what you think is safe, what you think is familiar, even though you want the more. You want uncommon success, but you keep doing common things. Deep down, however, there is a seething anger and frustration. You may not even know that you're angry. I know how angry I got when I realized what I was doing. You don't admit it. You consider yourself too nice, too spiritual to say that you're angry, except sometimes when you fly off the handle. Sometimes when you're yelling at your kids and you know it has nothing to do with what they just did. Sometimes when you're yelling at that taxi driver for no reason. Sometimes it comes out. Most of the time, you just tell yourself to be responsible. You tell yourself to stop dreaming. You tell yourself to be grateful. You get engaged in other people's drama because they need your help. You give up on yourself whilst helping everybody else. And all the while, your subconscious mind is watching. It's listening. It's noticing that you're ultimately making everybody else more important than yourself. Do you know what you're saying to yourself when you do that? It's buying into the idea that you're not capable. It's buying into the idea that you're not that important. And so self-doubt rises within you and becomes your normal way of operating in life. You don't even know it. You're losing respect for yourself because you continually put everybody else before yourself. You continually get more engaged in other people's drama or other people's nonsense just to drown out the way you feel about you. It gives you this false sense of being needed because you're telling yourself, you know that you're called to, support lots of people. You know that you're called to impact the world. But you tell yourself to settle for just the little people around you because at least I'm living a bit of my vision. It gives you that false sense that you're doing a little bit, but you're not. You're not. This is not your vision. It's not. It's not. And deep down as well, you feel unworthy of your own desires. Now, this can come from who knows what reason, but something happened or some things happened that left you feeling unworthy of the life that you desire. And you're indulging the idea that you're not good enough. It's just normal. You're good enough for the things that you do very well, but nothing else. Nothing else. And everything you want is outside of the things you do comfortably. That's the thing. You talk and you act like you're not enough because that's the thing. What you're thinking inside of you is what is coming out of your mouth. How you're behaving, your patterns of behavior that you don't even notice. You're acting in the world as someone who is not good enough, who is not worthy, who doubts herself or himself. And so then the people around you follow your lead and start to believe what you're telling them. That you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that they can treat you any old how. They start treating you badly. They take advantage of you. And you can see it happening at work, at home, wherever. You hate it, you blame them. But honey, it's a reflection of what is going on inside of you. And then you compound the issue by telling yourself more limiting stories. Oh, it's because of my race. It's because of my accent. It's because of my age. It's because I won't play the game of the way they want me to. I'm too, integrous to do that. You're telling yourself it's something they're doing. It's not you. And it's because of my sex. It's because of my sex. It's because I don't have that qualification. It's because I'm an introvert. It's because I have kids and they think that I should be at work longer and they just don't like me. They just don't like me. They call me as bad. They're letting people go. It's nothing to do with me. There's no good people in relationships. There's no good men or good women in the world, left. Everybody's just playing games. There's always some kind of reason out there, and it seems so real. Or worst of all, you start to deeply believe that there's something inherently wrong with you. Honey, you wonder why it seems easier for other folks. You wonder where the divine is because you're a spiritual person and you're wondering where the heck is the divine. You feel abandoned by the divine. You wonder what you're doing wrong to deserve this. You're a nice person. You've done everything. You tried your best. Why are you not where you want to be? Why is this happening to you? Why do you feel this way? On the surface, you just keep showing up. To everybody else, nothing is happening. If you do speak to people about your dissatisfaction, they can't understand it. Why are you not happy? Look at your life. Everything is fine. What are you talking about? And then you start to feel guilty for not being more grateful. And if you're religious, you might feel even scared that God is going to be offended by your thoughts and send down that bolt of lightning, basically. And you may not admit this, or that you're going to end up in eternal fire. So you feel kind of scared that you shouldn't be indulging these thoughts. Or you feel scared that, if you try to do something else, you're going to lose what you have. And you work so hard to get here, you're not sure that you even have the energy to try and work hard to get something else. It all just seems like too much. And yeah, you're worried that you're going to lose your loved ones. In fact, some loved ones might even suggest to you, particularly partners, might suggest to you that if you start trying to do that thing, we're going to leave you. And you believe them. And so you are kept in your place. Who defined your place? You're kept there though, in that box, and you keep letting it happen. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, same thing happening over and over and over again. Unfortunately, honey, the person feeding you most of the lies and the nonsense is you, your subconscious mind, who's been watching you over all these years, putting everyone else first, saying no to the things that you desire, going along the path that other people have set for you. Your subconscious mind thinks it is keeping you safe. And so it's feeding you fear and doubt. And you believe it. You think it is you. And the chances are, yeah, as I've said already, you tried to do something more fulfilling with your life, but then you get fearful and overwhelmed and stressed. And of course, someone needed you. So of course, you couldn't do it. So you quit. You quit. I did that so many times. I cannot tell you how many times I did that. That's why I called myself a business dabbler, ex-business dabbler. Because I dabbled a lot. And there was always a great reason to stop. Always. And then you're waiting for, I've heard people, I'm waiting for God to tell me what to do next. I'm waiting for this, waiting for that. And they're so convinced that this is that is right. Maybe you are that person. I don't think you are. If you're still here listening, because some of the things I've said already may hit you the wrong way if you're not ready for change. But if you're ready for change, you might already be crying ready, knowing that I'm speaking directly to you. Ultimately, honey, you quit on your dreams. You quit on your vision. You quit on yourself. The problem for us as humans is that you can quit on yourself and continue to live. It's like your electric car or something. When you run out of steam, it stops. It's the end. But we human beings, we can just keep going. You slap a smile on your face. Everybody around you is deceived. But you know that you've quit on yourself. And I can't judge you. I don't judge you. I did it. And when I truly saw how I was getting in my own way, I got freaking angry. You hear me yelling in the car on my own, yelling and screaming. I was angry at them for all the time I'd spent giving to them, all the thems in my life, doing what they wanted me to do, trying to be what they wanted me to be. I fucking got angry with them, but you know what, mostly with me for allowing it to happen, that I had allowed years of my life to be stolen, trying to please this person and please the other person, even though I was trying to hold on to myself. But I had allowed nonsense to take over for way too long. I'd allowed myself to settle for average when I knew I was meant for more. I was angry that I'd bought into the lie that there was something wrong with me and that I need to change me and I needed to do this and I need to, in order to suit them. Are you kidding me? I was angry, and I hope you get freaking angry. I'd allowed them so much power over me. And it took that bankruptcy, it took 4 years of depression, feeling empty, even starting the wrong business for me. At least it started me moving, so I'm thankful for it. Before finally I had enough. I remember having a conversation with a family member yelling at me about some kind of money issue. I was just sitting on the phone listening to this person thinking, what the heck? What? How am I at this point in my life? And this person that I've given so much to is yelling at me. You need to read my confidence book to know what I'm talking about here. Are you kidding me? That woke me up. It woke me up. So I ask you, are you freaking done yet? Are you done yet? Or how low do you have to go before you finally see that what you're doing to your own life is just not sustainable? It's time to wake up. Or are you going to keep eating too much or exercising too much or working too much or churching too much? People think that church is a good thing. It can be. Of course it can be. But it can also be a hiding thing where you're hiding from your own life. You're giving too much, or having sex with too many people, or too much, or masturbating a lot, just to escape from what is going on inside of you. Or maybe you're into the whole smoking something just to feel better, drinking too much. And you know it. It's not like I'm telling you anything you don't know. Entertainment, anything to numb you out. Because the only way for you to live this life where you are not being you is to numb yourself out. It's the only way to keep going. But you know it's not sustainable. You know it's not sustainable. It will never work, my love. You are called to something more. There is no denying it. You will never be able to settle for less. And there is a different way to live. There is a different way to live. It's a freedom way. As I said already, where you're doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it with. Free from all the noise and the drama and the crazy in your mind around you. Free to live a really good life, fulfilled, living in your true design, finding yourself again. Because honey, the person you're looking for, the thing you're looking for is you. You. You need to come back home to you. That is where true fulfillment lies. To live financially abundant, not all this restriction, doing things just for money. You are supposed to be master over money, not money master over you. Come on, all this doing things just because of money, or not doing things just because of money. Stop, enough. That is not how you're supposed to be living. You know it. A love-drenched life where the relationships are empowering. Yes, of course, you're going to, support some people, but not every freaking person in your life. Come on now. Come on now. And deep inner peace, it is possible. Where the noise and the crazy in your mind is silenced. And you feel this deep joy, deep peace. It is possible for you. It is possible for you. It's available. It is. You simply need to wake up. Wake up. Stop accepting less than who you are. You are one with the divine, honey. You are one with God. Seriously. You are a powerful creator. You know these things. Maybe you're that person that goes to church shouting about, oh, the same power that conquered the grave lives in you. Yes, it freaking does. But you need to know how to channel that power for you, for your good. Because as you rise, you will take people with you. Not this world trying to take people with you when you haven't gone anywhere yourself yet. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. What am I sorry for? I'm not sorry. I want you to hear your vision, that deep down desire inside of you. It is your permission to rise. You are capable of your calling. You need to wake the heck up. Wake up. Stop putting yourself on the sidelines of your own life. Take back dominion over all of your life. I can't emphasize this enough. I recognize your power. You're just using it against yourself. You need to use it for you. Take back dominion over your life. You are leader. You are way shower. You are bringer of the new. Wake up. Wake up. There is a strategy. There's a process. There is a system that can be used. And I'm going to talk you through it. There's Kevin here. Before we go on to that. Client. Kevin, the client. He was considered a successful leader at home, at work, in his religious organization. He was making good money. But he felt completely stagnant and unfulfilled, that emptiness inside of him. He just couldn't figure out, why does he feel this way? He knew he was not on his path, but he couldn't figure out how he was supposed to get onto his path. How was he supposed to get onto his path? He had all these responsibilities, all these people leaning on him. He needed to keep the money coming in, but he felt as if he had to keep doing this work forever, he just needed to die right now. But he was a responsible dude. He was willing to keep showing up, except he decided to reach out for support. We handled the fears, the mindset blocks that were stopping him from making his transition into the healing business that he actually wanted to be in. Something more aligned to his calling, to his purpose, to his nature. And he started building that as a side concern. He started handling his internal blocks. He started doing the strategies that I'm going to talk you through. And now he's well on his way to replacing his current income. It's a journey, it's a transition, but he's started. Where are you? It's your turn. There's 5 simple parts to this strategy. I wouldn't call them steps because it's not one then the next and the other. You're doing all of this at the same freaking time. Okay? It's simple, yes, but it's not easy because you are transitioning away from a certain way of thinking, a certain way of doing life. You've probably spent, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. I've had clients in their 60s, 70s changing their life at that point because frankly, if you're anything like me and you want to be alive till you're 120, there's no time. You're not too old. You're never too old. This is the time. Even if you're 60, you still have another 60 years to live your true design life. Why would you deny yourself that? Telling yourself some stupid story of being too old. Yes, you have those years where you've established ways of thinking, ways of acting that have not supported you. They got you here. And we're thankful for that. But you want more. So no, it's not easy. But it's simple. It's simple. And the truth is, it's also easy. As you carry on this journey, you'll also realize that you're never asked to do anything you don't want to do. It's the stories you're telling yourself that make it hard. But we're going to help you get rid of those stories. Let's carry on. This process will transition you from a place of unfulfillment and lack to a place of fulfillment, peace, and abundance. You're going to flick that switch within you to rich. Okay? You ready? Okay, let's carry on now that we truly know where all the nonsense came from. Part 1. Let's transition away from the nonsense. You need to know fully that you are the authority in your life. You are the authority in your life. You are the authority in your life, honey. So you need to stop waiting for the divine, for your partner, for your parents, for your children, for your boss, for the economy, for your spiritual teacher to finally give you permission or to tell you what you're supposed to do or anything like that, because the divine definitely is waiting for you to freaking wake up. You are the authority in your life. The divine is not going to force you to do anything. It's not withholding anything from you either. You need to stop waiting to not be afraid, to finally feel good enough, to have enough money, to have enough support, for everything to be perfect, for someone to give you permission or approval or accolades first before finally you start moving. Enough of that. You are the authority in your life. You are the one with all the choices. Okay? You are the one with all the choices. You are the authority in your life. How many times can I say this to you? You are the authority in your life, and the whole universe is waiting for you to wake up. Wake up to the fact that it's you. You are the one that chooses to start your transition. You. There's no waiting for any other sign. Now, the fact that you want it is enough. It's time to move. You are so powerful in familiar situations at work right now, in your home, or your church, or your religious organization, whatever. You're comfortable there. Powerful there. People look up to you. But then you hold back when it comes to areas outside of that. And that needs to stop, because it's the areas that are most important to you that you're holding back from fully engaging with. That needs to stop. Again, you are the authority in your life. Ain't nobody going to force you to claim your life. You are the authority. So what are you determined to create? A client here, drawn to Rosemary some time ago, followed her from a distance for a while, dipped my toe in every so often, bought a couple of courses but didn't complete them. People do this, and then I joined the DM Gold. It's amazing, it's supportive. I wouldn't be without it now. It was the one-on-one coaching that really gave me the final push I needed to change everything wrong in my life and my work. As a result, things are so different for me. I can't believe it. It seems unreal, like I've just been given the key to another world. Wow, Rosemary has helped me finally make the changes and to excel at being me. Something that many tried to do and failed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honey, it's your time to rediscover who you are and start living fully in that. Part 2, you need to connect. Though you are the authority in your life, you're not created to do life alone. Connect and stay connected to the divine, God, higher power, whatever name you call him, her, divine feminine, divine masculine, whatever name you call. or your intuition even. If you're not into the whole spiritual way of seeing things, fine. Call it your intuition. Connect, stay connected to it, because the life that you want to live will not be created out of your past experience. Because if it could, you'd already have created it. Because that's where your wisdom is going to come from, is from your intuition, from your connection to the divine. You've been living, as I said, from your past stories and your past experiences, and they will never get what you want. You've not been on this planet long enough to have enough wisdom to break through into the bigger life that you haven't created yet. So you need to be connected to that something bigger than yourself. If your brain knew how to get you there, it would already have got you there, and it hasn't. So you need to tap into the divine. You need to stay connected to your higher self. You need to access that intuitive wisdom, and you need to take action on it. And I teach you exactly how to do all of this stuff when we're working together. But whichever way, that's what you need to do. Because you're trying to live from past experience. It's not going to work. You don't know enough. You don't. Or else you'd be there. So you need to connect and stay connected. It's not some kind of religious or spiritual tick box exercise that you're doing to make anybody else happy. No, this is essential. If you are going to live the life that you want, you need access to wisdom beyond what you've experienced to date. Nobody in your world has done it. This is something you need access to bigger, more expansive wisdom. Connect, stay connected to the divine. Do I have to really convince you of this? Another client, Rosemary's been a godsend. At the same time, I was attempting to set up a business and had so many things going on, blah, 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 blah. Ultimately felt overwhelmed, didn't really do anything until she decided to reach out and get the support that she needed. I helped her to see that she needed to set the definite goals. She needed to know exactly what she wanted. She needed to rediscover who she was. Not looking back at past stories, making excuses. No, we cleared all of that stuff. She got her business off the ground. She says this was a lawyer, an attorney. Oh, I suppose in America you call it attorney. I'm not sure we call them attorneys here in the UK. But lawyer, a solicitor. Basically, making her transition into her own thing. Holding on to stories of, oh, but I spent so much money doing this. How could I? La, 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 la. And so therefore giving up herself in order to fulfill the success definitions of the world. Are you kidding me? Thankfully, she woke up. She reached out for support. She started doing her own thing. Part 3, clarity of vision. What is the purpose of your life? What is the purpose of your life? You need to know. You need clarity of vision. And you were probably under the illusion that your life was to be given away to everyone else, that was the nice thing to do. You don't think about it quite that way, but that's what you've done, okay? So you may not say it in those words, but your actions, they speak louder than words. But before I reveal your life's purpose, I want you to know this secret. People pleasing is not the same as people serving. So you may think you're serving people, but are you actually just trying to please them? And I want you to be honest with yourself and consider that for a moment. Are you just trying to please the people in your life by giving and giving and giving and giving? Because that is not serving people. That is not serving people. Have you been people pleasing or people serving? And whichever way, anyway, having said all of that, I just wanted to plant that thought in your mind. Neither of those things are the purpose of your life. People serving or people pleasing. Neither of those things are the purpose of your life, no matter how legitimate they may seem. You are not here to be of service or to change the world. You may choose to, but that's not your purpose. You're not here to please God. You're not here to please people. You're not here to be a great partner or a great parent or a great employee. You're not here to be anybody's insurance policy. Okay? Okay, so you're not here to be your parents' insurance policy that make sure that they have somebody to look after them when they whatever. No, you're not here for that reason. You're not here to be a caretaker of anyone. You're not here to save anything or anyone. These things do not make you worthy. Though in listening to me, you might think, oh my God, I'm going to become a selfish prick or something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but yes. I get it. And yet, hear me. Hear me, my honey. Hear what I'm saying. You are worthy because you are worthy. Sit with that for a second. You don't have to do any of those things to be worthy. One, because some of y'all are doing this stuff trying to prove yourself, trying to earn respect, trying to earn your worth or earn your good life. Your good life is yours because you're alive. You're worthy because you are. The only thing is whether you claim it. But let's keep talking about your purpose. Your actual purpose is this. You are here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. You are not here to prepare for the next life. You are here to be here, to enjoy here, to have fun here and now. That is literally your purpose. Now, it will look different for everybody. But if you realize that at the bottom, the foundation here is that you need to be enjoying your life. And if you're not, then you are out of your purpose. You're not on the purpose path. Seriously, think about what I'm saying. Although the chances are either it resonates with you or it doesn't. And it's fine if it doesn't. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I'm here to speak to those who, when I'm speaking about this stuff, it resonates with you. You know that you've already thought these things, but maybe not giving yourself the permission to say them out loud. You are here on earth to enjoy being here on earth. It's not some test. It's not some trial. It's not, no, that is your life purpose, is to be here. You chose to be here. Honey, so what do you want? That is the most important question to answer. What do you really, truly want? Because your purpose, your specific purpose, is going to be found in your desires. Not some voice from the heaven. Not somebody telling you what they think you're good at. What do you want? Your desires will guide you safely. Your desires that you've probably learned to shut down. I mean, we were taught practically all through school just to have this general education, and then at 16, you're suddenly supposed to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life and all of this stuff, and nobody ever really told you that what you want, what you desire, is actually what you're here on this planet to do. Yes, we do a lot. We have to have a function. That's who we are. We want to do something. What do you want, honey? What do you want? That is your life's purpose. You have to give yourself permission to want what you want, not judge yourself for it. Tell yourself it's not spiritual enough. Tell yourself it's greedy or selfish and you shouldn't think that way. And how can you have more when everybody else has less? And all of that stuff that you tell yourself that keeps you stuck in a life you do not love. Enough of that. You've forgotten how to have fun and how to do anything for yourself. You're holding on so tightly, trying to make sure you don't make any mistakes, don't do anything wrong. Enough! Enough! Have you not noticed that crazy people, drug dealers, crazy criminals are having more fun than you? They have even more money than you as well. I'm not saying we have to do that. That's their business, what they want to do with their power. But you carry that same power and ability, and you also have a good heart. Seriously. Give yourself permission to want what you want. Have fun with life again. Wake your inner child up. You've been controlled by the masculine for so long, and the masculine is even tired. That's why you feel so drained. It's time to remember all of who you are. It's time to remember who you are. Ask yourself the question, what do I want? Get to know yourself again. Take the time to get to know yourself again. The you before all the noise and the nonsense and the drama. Who is that? Another client. Talking about how, some do coach and you learn a thing or two. Some are the coach for you at that moment. But then there's me. I cut to the core with the precision of a surgeon. Gently, effectively help you heal. Believe in yourself again. Uncover yourself again and move you forward. Transition you to the life that you've always wanted. The life you were meant to create before you got carried away with trying to be all things to all people. I bring you back to that. Part 4. It's time to leave behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past. This is the critical bit that most action-oriented people try to ignore. I did for a long time. Tried to ignore the fact that all the things that I wanted, all the noise in my head. I tried to ignore it because I just needed to take action, take action, take action. You can only do that for so long. There's a reason that you make everyone else a priority in your life. There's a reason, or even many reasons, why you procrastinate on the things that are important to you. And I've already suggested lots of things, but I'll tell you right now very clearly, there are things inside of you called frozen personalities. At least I call them frozen personalities. These are frozen parts of you that were formed when you faced any kind of trauma, whether it was a teeny tiny, someone looked at you kind of funny, and you just felt as if they were saying something horrible about you in their heads. And so you, the 4-year-old, suddenly decided, oh, I can't handle that. And so a part of you broke off and just kind of froze around the event so that the rest of you could continue to live as if nothing had happened. And you've been collecting these frozen personalities all through your life. They were created to protect you so that you could continue to function. Okay? But they're still stuck in your subconscious mind. They're using up your energy. They're keeping you safe, they think. Okay? But things that scared you at 5 years old are not the things that scare you now. Okay? And so, but you haven't handled that 5-year-old thought. And so these frozen personalities don't know that they're not needed anymore until you take the time to actually dissolve them, resolve them, or evolve them. It's easy enough to do. It's easy to do. Okay? There's so many simple ways that you can use to clear the noise, the nonsense, the drama, so that you can rise back up to your throne. We talk about that a lot in the Deliberate Millionaire Pathway. Honey, it's rising up to your throne, getting out of the underground with all the noise, the nonsense, all your frozen personalities, all pulling at you, to rise up to the throne room where you can have clear vision. You see that you are the authority over your life. You're controlling things. So yes, as you handle these frozen personalities, you can rise up to your throne, the place of authority, the place of dominion. Do not ignore this work. I cannot emphasize this enough. You are probably repeating the same patterns at work, in your relationships, everywhere in your life. And it's because of this inner conflict that you may not even sometimes be aware of it, because you've just learned to numb it all out. You may blame other factors, but the truth is that the problem is inside of you. The problem is not you. Let's be very clear about that, because you can handle this issue, because it's just like you've put on this blanket all over you and you can take it off. So I want to be very clear. The problem is not you. It's just that these personalities within you need shifting, need dissolving, need resolving, need evolving. They need to go. Okay? So you need to get them out of you, which brings us to part 5, the work. Something I like to say to my clients, the work always works. The work always works. The question is, are you doing the real work? The inner work? The outer work? There's so much more I wanted to say on this thing, but I think we've gone on long enough. So much I want to say about making your transition. So much I want to say about, clearing, doing the clearing work inside of you. But the work always works. You must do this stuff in order to move yourself forward. Or are you dilly-dallying? Are you procrastinating? Because there is a practical element to everything that I've said. Because we are human, we may be divine beings having a human experience, but we are also human. So there's a practical element that must be engaged with. You must be doing something to move forward. And that doing may be internal work, yes, but there's also going to be some external stuff that needs to be done. But do you even know what the work is? We pay to get educated in the proper schools, get the proper qualifications, and that takes us to everybody else's definition of success. But then you try and wing on a prayer your way into your own purpose. That's what I did. Dabbling at business, I didn't want to pay out to work with anybody to support me, even though I'd paid out who knows what to become a pharmacist. But when it came to the things that were most important to me, I thought I could just wing and pray it. I just pray, rubbish. It's crazy. Crazy talk. But most don't think about it like that. Oh no. Everyone does it this crazy way, and so you just go along with the ride. Nonsense. Where is that ride getting you? Do you want different? Because if you do, accountability is needed, knowledge is needed, support is needed. A personal plan is needed. So how do you get this stuff? How do you do all of this? You need to invest in a coach or mentor. When I finally hit rock bottom and I got serious, honey, I invested. I was well trained to be a professional, to be in a corporate, in a corporate environment, or retail environment, depending on which pharmacist branch I decided to be in. I was well versed. I was well educated to do that stuff. I was not educated to live in my purpose, to be my own boss, to transition into a life where I was creating wealth, doing what I wanted to do. Nobody trained me to do that. I had to choose to invest in a coach, a mentor, to get the new knowledge, to get the accountability, to help me identify, clear those mindset blocks. And you need this too, okay? I'm about to even say that because it was the one thing that completely changed my life, okay? It didn't come when life was perfect. As I said, I was at rock bottom. I had to make the choice. Would I keep doing what I could see was not working? Or would I invest scarily in myself and make a solid commitment to myself to do whatever that mentor instructed me to do? I made the choice to invest, and within 12 months, as I said to you guys earlier, I'd replaced the money from what I'd been taught and implemented. I'd replaced the money that I'd invested in that mentor, which was £10,000 at that point, which to me was incredibly huge with my 3 kids and a husband looking at me like, are you crazy? We don't have that kind of money. It's like, well, I need to do this. If we're going to change anything, I have to do this. Thankfully, we found a way because I was bankrupt. I had to somehow get credit and all of this. At the 12-month mark, I did win that Porsche Boxer for being Businesswoman of the Year. Within 18 months from that, I had more than replaced my income as a pharmacist, and I completely got out of pharmacy. That was 2012, 2013, and I've never gone back. Because I made that choice to invest, my income, my investments, they continue to grow. I continue to invest in mentors and coaches, continue to grow. Yeah, before I invested in a coach, I did the same thing you guys are probably doing, reading all the books, all the free webinars, like this one. Downloaded all the freebies, did the courses with no personal contact, searched Google for all the answers, blah, 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 blah. Nothing compared to having someone look at my own specific situation and come up with personal solutions for me. And then to support me in applying them to my life, holding me accountable to my own goals and my own vision. Talking directly to someone who's already been through the pitfalls and all of that stuff and can see when I'm doing stupid or when I'm not seeing what I need to see. Okay? Someone objective, not attached to my situation, so not trying to keep me in a box because if I change, it affects them in some way. It doesn't affect them in any way. So with a mentor, with a coach, someone I could talk to, speak to about any issues I was facing. Because as I said, you could be that person alone, even though you're surrounded. The chances are you are that person. At this point, I've personally invested over $100,000 in coaching and mentoring. And each time I have no idea where the money's going to come from. It's not because it was sitting in my bank account. Oh yes, you know what? I'm just going to pay out this. No, it's because I chose to. I chose to freaking work it out. So I have people sometimes approaching me and I'm just like, it's so interesting. So what? You're approaching me, but then saying, oh, because I don't have this and because I'll just wait until I get the money. As if, can't you see that the reason why you're in this place where you have no money is because you need the support now, not then. Do whatever you freaking need to do to get the support now. I've used credit. I've asked people to loan me money. Each time I just knew I needed help and I had to get it or else I would be stuck. And as I said before, how crazy is that people would invest thousands, go into debt to the tune of thousands, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, just for a formal education that in the end is not what they want. But then they will hold back on investing to get what they actually want. How crazy is that? Well, I stopped deceiving myself. I stopped pretending that I would one day find a way to fit it into my budget. One day. Yeah, right. As if mysteriously everything is suddenly going to change. Are you kidding me? I've time and time again trusted myself and trusted the divine and taken the scary steps to reach my goals, and I continue to do so. And so I continue to increase my wealth whilst living in my purpose. So my big advice to you is don't try to do this alone. Find someone you resonate with. Find a coach, find a mentor you resonate with, and invest whatever it takes to work with them. And I'll tell you right now, there is no mistake about you being here. There is no mistake about you being here. Right here, listening to me, right now. You asked for support. Something inside of you cried out for support. Divine guided you here. There is no mistake about it. So now you have a choice. This is how I can help you. I've put aside some time over the next, 48 hours or so to speak to you personally about how you can apply what I've talked about to your life. Whatever it is that you think you're handling that is big or whatever, that I know it. I can see exactly what you need to do to move forward, okay? And so on this session, we will clarify your true design vision, your life's purpose, your money goals, and the difference that you're here to make on this planet. In the session, we will also uncover any hidden challenges that may be sabotaging your ability to live in your purpose and stopping you from creating a higher income, higher than you're creating even now, to support the life that you want to live. The problem is never what you think it is, okay? So we will identify those challenges. And on the session, we will also devise a next step plan for you that may include working with me. It's not for everyone, but it may include working with me to bring your true design vision to life easily and swiftly. And the cost for this session, absolutely free. Absolutely free. But let me tell you who this is for. You must be willing to be transparent. Don't come on the phone trying to hide stuff from me. No, that's not going to work. You need to be ready to invest time, energy, and money in yourself right now. Not some random time in the future when you think that somehow mysteriously everything is going to be perfect and then you can finally invest in yourself. No, that's crazy talk. I don't indulge crazy talk. Okay? Who is it for? You must be willing to commit to the creation of your vision 100%. And no, I'm never going to ask you to jump off a cliff. Oh, quit your job now. None of that. But there is an internal commitment that you are freaking bringing this thing to life. You don't care. You just know it has to happen. If that's you, then we need to talk. If you're truly sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're tired of the excuses and the reasons and you're done with all of that, you're ready to move forward now. Then we talk. You're not an excuse maker. You are an action taker who's willing to follow directions. You're coachable, you're teachable, you're resourceful. So you're willing to do what it takes to move forward. Of course, we're never going to be expected to do anything illegal or against your value system. No. However, you are willing to stretch, to expand. Because as I said before, if what you're doing right now could have got you there, you'd already be there. So some of the things you've been avoiding may need to be done. Are you ready? Are you willing? Is this your time? If it is you, then click on this. Well, you can't, I don't think you might be able to click on the slide, although something might have appeared around the slide. It depends. Depends on where you're listening to this right now. Book your session. If you're listening to this live, there should be a button that's come up. Or something on the screen. I've never seen it from your angle, but something would have come up on the screen telling you where to book your session. Book your session now. Or you can go to rosemarynonnynight.com/call. Book your session now. I'm going to leave a few minutes here to ask any questions. You can put them in the box or whatever. Or, even if I don't, sorry, I don't think I can because I suddenly realized the time here. So we're going to end here, but I would strongly urge you, just put any questions, anything in the box, whatever. I will get back to it at some point. I mean, I can already see some comments from some of y'all. It's a pleasure having you here with me. But this is it, guys. It's time. If you're ready to elevate your life and to flick the switch within you to rich, let's talk. Either go to rosemarynonnynight.com/call or there's something on the screen right now. Go and get your spot. Much, much, much amazing love. And in case there's any wonder, I suddenly realized there's another slide here. Why am I doing this? Because I want to. Remember, I'm here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. I do the things that I want to do. I've created a life where I get to do that. If there's any area of my life where I don't quite like what's happening, I assure you, I change it. I want that for you. A life where you do only the things that you want to do I know when you're coming from this place of lack, it can almost seem selfish, but it's because you're coming from a place of lack. When you're coming from a place of rich, you'll recognize that actually any other way is craziness. Literally. I enjoy doing what I do. And if it is a good fit when we talk, I will ask you to work with me. Of course, you don't have to. But if you got that far, I would suggest that you say yes. Because ultimately, I also know this. Driven spiritual people need to be well-resourced to make a difference on this planet. This planet needs us to wake up. Are you ready? If you are, get on the phone with me. There's either the button or something around the screen here, or rosemarynonny.com/call. Limited spots only. I can only work with so many people. Do not delay. Such a pleasure to have done this with you. I think that's definitely the last slide. Such a pleasure. I am going to end it here. Much amazing love. If you do put any questions or anything in the checkbox, we will get a response to you at some point as soon as we can. In the meantime, apply for a session if you're ready for change. If this resonated with you and you're ready for change, let's go. Much amazing love. Woo! Such a pleasure speaking with you. Until the next time. Bye.